There is a fresh appeal from the international community for further assistance to victims of Typhoon Pablo in Mindanao. Jorge Bandola filed this report.
6 months after the devastation of Typhoon Pablo in Mindanao, the United Nations renewed its call to developed countries to continue helping the Philippines in its efforts to alleviate the lives of those who are victims of Typhoon last year, as well as the victims of war and conflicts. United Nations Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs needed at least $47 million more from their previous international flash appeal of $91 million.
For those who are displaced by previous conflicts, and they were more focusing on the humanitarian needs of the day. Maybe that was a reflection also the focus of the mission on humanitarian needs. So they were talking about the needs in shelter, food feeding in the schools, food, health, and education for children, daycare centers. I think that was the main focus of the mission, and that was the main topics of discussion with the local population there.
Aside from food and non-food reliefs, permanent shelters for typhoon and conflict victims are needed, as well as enough fund for their health and sanitation and livelihood.
In Pablo-affected areas and in other parts of Mindanao. As has been said before, the needs are in the areas of livelihoods, it's enabling people to get back on their feet, debris clearance, health, education, and food security. Food assistance will continue to be provided to the most vulnerable, also going into the second part of the year as well.
The United Nations commend the Philippine government in its efforts to prioritize more help in Mindanao. Department of Social Welfare and Development was tasked to lead in relief efforts. But the United Nations admitted they needed more funds to help people in conflict-stricken areas.
We know that this recurrent displacement really generates a vulnerability in the community and the families, and that it really needs that the families keep their children in school, carry on with their livelihoods, and it's being management with they've been managing this for very long. So
the international appeal for $47 million more will remain until the 31st of December this year. For People's Television, Jorge Bandola.